Hello everybody, today I'm gonna be showing you the advanced technique I have learned by playing Arcadia for over 300 hours. Let's get straight into it. Alright, I'm gonna start with the techniques that I believe are the most important. Let's start with this. To do this, you need to use a Sopener, Nbridge, jump, Dair and gravity cancel Nsig. As you can see, by reading a dodge when your opponent is in orange with Dair, you can KO them. Normally, after hitting somebody with Dair at this damage range, most people would use Nair. As you can see, Nair is not even close at KOing your opponent at the same damage. Also, Nair deals 17 base damage, while Nsig deals 26 base damage. That is an extra 9 base damage. By the way, this is not jumpable by any means. If your opponent decides to jump, that actually makes the situation worse for them, because they end up closer to the ceiling and therefore will lose their stock earlier. With this read, we can hit in dodge, up in dodge, O dodge, and down dodge. There is one small disadvantage of this. You cannot use this if your opponent is at low damage. If you do that, Nsig will just miss. If you do read them with Dair at 40 damage or less, I would advise you to move a bit forward and Sair, like this. Don't Nair, cause sometimes it misses. Also, if your opponent is super damaged, we are talking 180 plus damage, Nsig will not reach them. You should instead jump Nair in this situation. The next Arcadia exclusive string is this. To do this, use a Sopener, Nbridge, chase dodge and Nsig. You should only use this if your opponent does not have a dodge. This string is of course unjumpable. Normally, Greatsword players, after hitting an Sopener, they will do these two combos. Those two combos deal 12 less base damage than the Arcadia exclusive one. They have basically the same force, unless you use a finisher on the edge of the stage. This combo is best used when you don't have enough space to do the whole 5-hit string, which is this. You can not do the 5-hit string when you do not have enough space for it, like this, or if they are gonna get their dodge back, like this. There is only one way to counter this, by waking up with very specific moves, which are unarmed Nair, unarmed Dair, Katar's Dair, bow Nair, and spear Dair. But this is an insignificant flaw, because 99% of the players will not know this, and as a result they will never think to respond to your string with a wake up. Also, if your opponent is holding axe, hammer, blasters, scythe, Greatsword, lance, cannon or battle boots, you can do this 100% of the time, as long as they do not have a dodge. Greatsword Dsig is a very useful tool that I see a lot of people use wrong. The biggest mistake they make is not doing this string after they catch the opponent's dodge. To do this, after Dsig, you need to move a bit forward, an Nopener, Nbridge and then finisher. As long as your opponent does not have a dodge and you have enough space for this, this is way better than a simple Dsig recovery or Dsig Sair, as it deals more damage and KOs earlier. Make sure to practice this because it is not very easy and requires precise timing. Note that any other variation of the Nopener string, for example an Nopener Nbridge as finisher or an Nopener side bridge and finisher, is jumpable. When your opponent is off stage, it is very safe to go for a Dsig. A lot of the time your opponent will end up jumping in your Dsig a bit after it has been used. You can take advantage of the situation by doing this. To do this, Dsig preemptively jump, spot dodge and side finisher. make sure that your opponent falls in your Dsig on the end of the move. Otherwise, if they get hit immediately, you should probably go for jump Sair. If you do this correctly, you can get KOs very early. Here are some examples I found in my videos. This combo is one of the best things about Spear Dsig. Here it is. To do this, you need to Dsig, fastfall, Dlight and Sair. This requires precise time, so make sure to practice it. Of course, this is not always a true combo, so you should only do this in two scenarios. Firstly, if your opponent does not have a dodge, you can do this with no problem, like this. If your opponent doesn't have their dodge after Dlight, you can gravity cancel another one, like this. Secondly, if your opponent falls in the Dsig late enough, the combo can be true, like this, or this. Again, practice this so you don't end up doing this. This string is similar to the previous, but this one requires your opponent to be at low damage. It is this. For this, you need to Dsig, Sair and Nlight. Even though this requires your opponent to not be very damaged, this string does 5 more base damage than the Dlight into Sair version. To do this, you need to make sure that your opponent does not have their dodge back by the time you Nlight, or this will not be guaranteed, like this. In that situation, you should Dlight plus Sair, like this. This combo actually used to be true, but the developers nerfed Sair to stun the opponent for less time in a balance patch. Hello guys, I'm talking to you while I'm editing this video, and while doing so, there was actually a new balance patch that buffed Sair again, so this combo is actually always true right now. Of course, the opponent still needs to be at a low damage. The next one is not a string, it is actually a read. Here it is. To do this, you should Slight and then Nsig. The reason this is such a good read is because it covers many of the opponent's options. Those are jump, in jump, out jump, up dodge, do nothing, wake ups, Up dodge in particular is a very annoying dodge to read after Spear Escape, since you cannot really use Dlight unlike the other dodges. That is why I believe this read is so good, since it allows you to punish one of the best dodges your opponent can do. Additionally, you can read every dodge with Nsig by doing these things. The other variations of this read are not as important in my opinion, since there are better ways to read those dodges. Normally, after you read your opponent with Dlight, you go for gravity cancel downlight plus Sair or recovery, like this. But instead of that, you can do the following. To do this, Dlight, pot dodge and Nsig. As you can see, this string is unjumpable and even KO'd earlier than double Dlight into recovery. Even though this has superior force, it actually deals around 4 less base damage. So make sure you only use this if you know your opponent is gonna get knocked out by this. Of course, this is not true and should only be used when your opponent doesn't have a dodge. For example, after a dodge read. You need to practice the timing for this one because it is kinda hard. This one is very simple, it is this. To do this, down Nsig and Groundpound. The reason I recommend this is because sometimes this is better than down Nsig into Sair. Groundpound does 1 extra base damage and even chaos earlier. Hey, it's me again. Because of the recent Sair buff, you should only do this on high damages, where you cannot do Sair into Nlight. These next reads are not too useful in my opinion, but they did help me reach diamond for the first time, so I figured I would show them to you too. The first one is this. To do this, a Sopener and then delay a side Ssig by a couple of frames. This gets the spot dodge, the down dodge, the in dodge, and the down in dodge. The next string is this. To do this, you need to use a Sopener, dash, and side Ssig. This gets the out dodge and the down out dodge. You can use Nbridge for this one. The next string is this. To do this, you need to a Sopener, dash, turn around, and side Ssig. This catches the spot dodge, the in dodge, the down dodge, and the down in dodge. You can also use a Nbridge for this one. As you can see, the opponent is at 30 damage. Let me do this. Spear Nsig is great at KOing early on the top of the map. That is for 2 reasons. First, it has good force by itself, and second, no matter where you hit the Nsig, your opponent always ends up in the same place above you. In maps like this one, where the ceiling is lower, you can get chaos even earlier. The bot is at 0 damage and is still KO'd. There are a lot of ways to do this combo. I will show you an example that are found in video I have uploaded. Most of the times I do this, I make sure to nair, jump, recovery and gravity cancel Nsig. I would like to tell you how good Spear Nsig is for team combos. Spear is already a great weapon for them, and Nsig makes team combos very easy with Arcadia. Here's an example of an Arcadia team combo. I actually have some more team combos to show you, but now it's not the time. Let me know in the comments if you want a video on team combos with Arcadia. I have something more to say. If you watch some of my older videos, you're gonna notice that I do not use these techniques sometimes. This is not because I don't actually think that these are good tips, but rather I was not aware of these things back then, or I was too lazy to practice them. By the way, the videos I'm referring to are highlights of a few matches I have played accompanied by some editing, so feel free to check them out. Finally, I want you to know that this video took a long time to make. For example, the script itself is around 10,624 characters, so I would appreciate any form of support you can offer me by liking this video and subscribing. If I missed something in this video, make sure to mention it in the comment section, but for now, have a great day.